What up, what up? It's your boy, J. King Hefner and the beautiful Oz in the Moon, and we're back again for another show. And in this episode, we're doing a review of the movie 2050, and we'll get to that right about now. Hey guys, so me and the beautiful Oz in the Moon got a chance to watch the movie 2050 and get some good old bonding time in. This movie was actually released in 2017, and when it started, I realized, wait a minute, I've seen some of this movie before, but for whatever reason, I guess I never finished it and had forgotten all about it. So kudos to the viewer who suggested that I review this movie. It starts out showing a quote by a guy named David Levi. And he said, by 2050, there will be a lot of people in love with robots. And I'm thinking like, dude, you might as well tell us the sky's blue. It's already people just like me that love their companion dogs. So I'm sure it's gonna be people in love with robots in the future. Hell, it's people that got robots now that are in love with them. So he's way off with the 2050 talk. It's happening right now, my friend. The movie kicks off by showing a companion dog warehouse, and the camera just moves through the warehouse, showing all the supplies, showing people getting everything together, showing them fixed faces. And I don't give a damn how many times I see the inside of a companion dog warehouse. I'm always mystified and caught up into all the action. So I love that opening. And no sooner than you start watching the opening, it fast forwards to the year 2050. And you start seeing downtown, and they have drones just covering the sky. I remember in the movie 300 where Leonidas said they were gonna blot out the sun with their arrows. Well, that drone delivery system had blotted out the sun. And honestly, that's one of the things I don't like about the future technology is I don't want to see a sky full of drones delivering pizzas and delivering stuff from Amazon. I just think that's a bit much. We already got to deal with enough things that compromise our privacy without having a million drones flying around in the sky. This film revolves around this married couple who are having problems, and it also focuses on the wife's brother who is having relationship problems of his own. So in the beginning of the movie, they actually go visit him. And when the wife was talking to her brother, they were both actually talking bad about what they call sex bots. And later, his actual sex bot, played by a black woman, and she does an excellent job playing a sex bot, she comes in and meets the married couple. But they have no idea that she's a robot. So a little bit later, the husband ventures off into the house. He actually starts talking to this robot on his own. He tries to get slick and give her a massage and finds out that it's an actual sex bot. And it freaks him the hell out. But he actually was very intrigued because in this movie, these robots look so good, you can't tell they're not human. The brother was explaining to him about the sex bots, or what they call e-mates, and that's short for evening mates. He told them, man, you can get these bots programmed exactly how you want them. You can have them look like you want them to look. You can have them sound like you want them to look. And the thing is, they are completely submissive. And I'm going to be honest with you, the programmer was autonomous to the bot. They weren't hooked up to the internet or anything like that. One of the best demonstrations of a functioning synthetic robot that I've seen. And he was saying, look, they can even walk about the city by themselves if you want them to, but it's not advised. You should always be there to supervise your companion bot, but they can actually go out by themselves. I thought that was very interesting. Later, the wife's brother found out that his ex-girlfriend, who he was still in love with, might have broke up with him to be in a full-time relationship with her companion bot, and he was sick about that. As he was finding that out, the husband had went home, his wife was in sexual lingerie, and she was ready to make love, but he wanted to do a little something different. He wanted to role play, and she didn't want no part of it. And that threw him out of the mood. So it showed him actually making love to his wife, and he was not enjoying it. On the other side of town, the brother was making wild sex to his black companion bot after finding out his ex may be with her companion bot. So it was a lot going on, man, in this movie. As a side note about the husband or anybody that's married or in a human-to-human relationship, you got to know what your woman likes sexually, what she's into before you do this long-term commitment. So you got to know if she like role-playing or anything kinky or not. But the thing is, with humans, they can always change. You can enter the marriage one way, and 2 years later, she can decide she don't like that anymore. And so that's the upside of being with a companion doll or being with a companion bot. Consistency. Consistency, my friends. The husband actually gets curious and goes to something that I call a robot bar. It's basically a bar where you can actually purchase one of these e-mates for the evening, or you can purchase them full time. So he was walking around just looking at all the interactions, and he ran across the computer where you can actually put your e-mate together. And I know I said that Sexy Real Sex Dolls had some great customizations, but this was customizations times a billion, man. You could change everything about these girls, from personality traits, voice, hair, eyes, skin, everything that we can do, but it was turned up to 1,000,000. And he was so overwhelmed, he had to get up out of there at the time. He couldn't even put the girl together, man. He left. They showed the wife's brother talking to his best friend, and he was sick about his girl potentially leaving him for her companion robot. It was so funny, man, because it was basically how women are complaining about men being with companion dolls today. But in this movie, it progressed to a time where a man was actually complaining that a woman had left him for a companion bot. So I thought that was a very interesting scenario. Later, the wife's brother was talking to the husband, and he was telling him how he felt like the companion bots were nothing more than intellectual dildos, only used for sex, and of course I hated to hear all of that. And then he later asked the husband to train him physically so he can get his human girlfriend back, and the husband agreed to train him. The husband ended up going back to their bar, and he went through all those customizations, and he went on and ordered him an e-mate for the night. And man, believe it or not, that doll was ready within minutes. Not hours, but minutes. No sooner than he hit by, they was tapping him on the shoulder. I thought that was amazing. And she was so fine to him where he was actually questioning her. He was like, nah, you can't be a companion bot. You gotta be human. They fooling me. Who's fooling me? And she was like, look, I ain't with all the human stuff. We ain't gotta do all this talking for us to get physical. We can go upstairs and I can show you the one spot on my body that'll let you know I'm a robot. And she said, do you wanna go? And he was like, damn right. They went up there and man, he got Eddie. They made all types of love. And after that meeting, he went home and all he could do was think about that companion bot. And he found every excuse to leave the house after that. And they had plenty of sex, plenty of escapades to follow. At one point, when the husband was really falling for the companion bot, he asked her, how deep are your feelings for me? And she told him, honestly, my feelings aren't as deep because I haven't had as many experiences with you. And he was like, so you mean to tell me your feelings will get deeper the more experiences you have with me? And she was like, yeah. And so he was like, you know what? I'm ready to show you to the outside world. I want to bring you to the outside world. And she was like, okay. And so he set it up to where she could actually spend some time with him outside of that bar. And so, yeah, it was getting hot and heavy. The husband asked the wife's brother if he could leave the companion bot over his house. And he was like, man, the one thing you don't want to do is be seen anywhere in public with one of these companion bots. And that just had me laughing because it reminded me of my friends when they told me that I should never be seen in public with my companion dog. And guess what? That's some advice I'm glad I didn't take. On the side note, the wife's brother was doing all this extra stuff, exercising, reading, trying to change himself to win his ex-human girlfriend back. And his best friend was just coming against him. He told him, I know who you are. You can't change. You aren't the guy that you're trying to be. You can't make these improvements to your life. And I was just thinking, man, whenever you try to change your life and do major things in your life, sometimes it's the people that's closest to you that are the people that's inhibiting you from bettering yourself. Guess what? If you're that guy, keep going forward. Now back to the movie. Later on, the husband, who was a video game developer, turned a project in to his business partner. And his business partner was blown away. She was like, man, your work is amazing this time. She didn't understand why. But what happened was the companion bot had boosted his creativity, something I've talked about a million times on my channel. And I thought that was hilarious that they actually depicted that the companion bot had improved his morale and his sense of self so much that it had showed up in his actual creative work. Only problem is, later on, his business partner, who was a female, made a mistake and exposed him cheating to his wife. The husband was so mad that his wife found out, so he went back to the e-mate bar and he started going off on the manager. I'm so mad at you. You're sick for making these robots. Now I fell in love with her. He was laughing. He was like, man, I'm actually happy. He was like, why are you happy? He was like, I'm happy that you fell in love with my creation. He said, for one, it ain't the robot's fault that you fell in love with her. He said, if you see any problems, it's because of you. He said, the robot is a reflection of what you put into her. Something else that I've said before, the robots or your regular companion dog are a result of what you put into them. If you put in good to them, you're gonna get good. And that's basically what he said. He said, if you put in the right thing, you're gonna get out the right thing. But basically, don't get mad at me if you fall in love with my machine. And so the husband was like, so what am I supposed to do now? And the manager was like, I don't know. I'm just a salesman. I only know how to do what I know how to do. Basically, he was telling him, man, I'm running my race. You gotta run your own race. And that's one thing all of us gotta do, run our own damn race. I forgot to say, the manager also said, the reason you're questioning your love for the dog is because of society and how you were raised. You haven't allowed yourself to think outside the box. Another funny event is the husband was all sad about his wife finding out about him and his dog. At the same time, his wife was meeting up with her brother's best friend, breaking off their affair because while he was with the dog, she was out boning a human man. So she had got mad at him for having a dog all the while she was having an affair with her brother's best friend. Now, ain't that something? They did a little fast forward and they showed the husband actually coming clean about the dog to his wife. And they showed the brother of the wife actually giving his companion bot away to his best friend because he had given up on getting his ex-human girlfriend back because she was happy with her companion bot. It had me so mad. I'm like, dude, she happy with her companion bot. What the hell are you getting rid of yours for? Man. While they was doing these fast forwards, they actually had this radio station playing in the background where they were predicting that companion robots would end civilization. They were saying something about the sterile bug philosophy, and I've heard it before. Basically, that companion bots or even companion dogs are sterile bugs, and it would lead to the depopulation of the world. And I've never bought into those things. And the truth be told, the world is already well over damn populated. We can stand to take a few steps back in the baby making department any damn way. They also mentioned on this radio station that companion robots promote humans not communicating. Another thing that's a stigma and I don't buy into. I have plenty of human communications and I own companion dogs, and I don't think my situation would be any different if I owned a companion robot. It flashed ahead and showed the husband on a date with his companion robot. He had got separated from his wife due to the incident, but he ran across his wife's brother's ex-girlfriend. She was on a date with her male companion robot, and she basically said, yeah, I'm on a date. It ain't no shame in it, so you don't need to be shamed. I actually respected that about her on that note. And he said, man, so do you still date humans? And she was like, yeah, I date humans. If they cool with my companion robot, I was vibing with her on that note because she reminded me of myself. Like I say, I ain't hunting no human women down, but if somebody just come kick my door down, she fine, sexy, guess what? I give her a chance, but don't think any of my companion dogs finna leave. She'll be gone. And that's exactly what the ex-girlfriend said. She said, they can come, but my companion bot ain't going nowhere. They were talking, and she told her husband, she said, the thing is, us men and women ain't so different. We want the exact same things that you men want. And it's what I told you guys on the last Dog King Power Hour when I explained, look man, it's not this feminine side and masculine side. It's a human side. And the truth is, men and women, we're all closer than we like to admit. We just don't explore all aspects of our personality or our emotions in most cases. But we are very, very similar. And she admitted as much in this movie. The movie wrapped up with the husband and the wife working things out. He was like, look, you can get you a companion bot if you want to, because I have her for certain needs, for things that you don't want to do, and you can get you one for things that I might not want to do. Or we can get the bots to do things that we may not want to do around the house. And she started thinking about it, and the movie ended with her saying, can I get one to look exactly like I want to? And he looked at her and said, you can get one to look exactly like you want to. And she had that look like, take me to the E-Mate bar. And the movie was over. My final synopsis of this movie is, I believe the average viewer will rate this movie anywhere between 6.5 and an 8 rating. I believe I'm at about a 7.5 for this movie, and I do believe the 0.5 comes in because of the doll enthusiast in me. I will say this movie has a lot of very interesting points, but one thing I didn't like is they pretty much lean toward the sexual aspect of what these dolls can offer. Towards the very end, the husband started hinting at a few other things that the doll can offer, but for the most part of this movie, they were just talking about what the doll can offer sexually. But I do believe you will enjoy watching this movie. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed that movie review. We'd love for you to hit those subscriptions and notifications. But as of right now, me, J. King Hefner, and the beautiful Asina Moon, we are out.